I would just start off with, you know, I'm beyond grateful for this opportunity. So much appreciation and thanks to Coach O'Connell, Kwesi, the Will family, and everything that they did to make this a reality for me. It means so much, and I can't wait to get to work and get with the guys and, just focus on climbing this new mountain and getting to the top.
Awesome. We'll get started with questions. We'll go Kevin, then Dave.
JJ, now that the draft has happened, how interested were you in joining the Vikings relative to the other teams that were out there looking for quarterbacks, and what's your reaction to eventually being part of the offense that they have built here already?
It's funny, for me, it was obviously if I could choose, if this was a college recruiting process, that would be the guys I would be going to. But every QB in the class that I interacted with wanted to go to Minnesota. So, it's just you know, amazing honor to be able to be selected to this great organization and this great culture that I'm excited to be a part of. And I can't wait to get with the guys and get rolling and, focus on the day-to-day process and get into the meetings and the workouts and the walkthroughs and all that fun stuff. And it's going to be a great time. I'm really looking forward to it.
Why do you think so many people wanted to be part of this team?
I think it's everything that, Coach O'Connell is building, the culture, just the man he is and everything that he wants in a football team. Just people want to be a part of that. People want to be surrounded by, obviously the great talent that's, around the offense and, obviously the great offensive mind that Coach O'Connell is. It's just, a perfect destination for a quarterback that's up and coming in this league. And, I'm just extremely blessed to be a part of it.
Hey, JJ, Kwesi said he thought your superpower is emotional intelligence. When did you realize that, if you agree with that? And what was your sort of pre-draft conversation with him like?
I would say with the EQ, that's something that, my fiance's dad mentioned when I first met her. And that's something I really didn't know about. And then I dug into it and I started to realize like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. And it's just the ability to, connect with others, to build relationships, because at the end of the day, you're going to war every single Sunday. And to be able to be a part of a true family and have those relationships on and off the field that are willing to die for each other, like, going into it, I'd be willing to, oh, wow, that's in Gretzky. I'm sorry about that. Hockey guy 101 and going to the hockey state. But I'd say, just being able to connect with the teammates, connect with the coaches, that's, the most important thing because, like I said, you're going to war every single Sunday and you got to have each other's back. You got to be willing to trust one another in that foxhole. And that's something that I feel like is the foundation to success, and being able to make that a focal point with every single place that I've been to is something that helped me more than anything else. And, that's something that, Kwesi and I talked about when we had the one-on-one meeting, just being able to express to him, who I am as a person. I'm somebody that as a leader, I'm going to, like, say you screw up on a route, I'm going to ask you why. And I'm going to look you in the eye and say, hey, how were you perceiving that, like, that moment? How are you perceiving that particular instant? And, be able to actually talk about it instead of drill you and say, hey, you did the wrong thing. I feel like that's just, something that as a leader, if you don't have that ability to connect with your teammates and actually understand the why behind everything, then, it's going to be a struggle to get to that next point and move on to, greater things.
Craig, then Alec.
Hey JJ, congrats. Looked like you had a big crew there with you. What was it like just with that continuous run of offensive players, and how did you guys support each other? And then what's the reaction been on your phone as we've seen during this call already?
Thank you so much, Craig. Yeah, it's been a blessing to be able to go through that, and once in a lifetime moment for sure. And just like I mentioned before, so many quarterbacks in this class, I have great relationships with them, and all of them were talking about Minnesota and how it's just a perfect destination for a young and up and coming quarterback because of, Coach O'Connell's philosophy, the way he's able to develop quarterbacks and, get the most out of them and tap into their ultimate potential. And, that doesn't come without, the great players around you, obviously. So being able to be a part of the system, I couldn't ask for anything more. And, I'm just extremely grateful to go through this process and meet so many great coaches. But, to be honest, Coach O'Connell was the one that stuck out. And to be able to play for him for however many years come, it's an ultimate blessing. And I can't wait to see where it goes.
Yeah, first, congrats, JJ. I was not expecting to ask you how you know Wayne Gretzky, but yeah, I'll ask that to start.
For sure. How we doing, Alec?
Yeah, good.
All right. Yeah. So Wayne actually, he's really good friends with my off the field marketing agent, Ira Stahlberger. And, obviously the hockey connection's always there. And he hit me up on FaceTime right after the national championship, January 9th. And, just being able to sit there and, be just a witness to the greatness that is, spreading his appreciation to what I was able to do and what I was able to represent. It meant so much because obviously growing up, he was one of my goats and on Mount Rushmore. And I, give so much credit to him because he inspired me so much. And, just being able to go to a state in the Midwest, I'm a Midwest guy, and to go to a state that's, lives, breathes, and eats, hockey and football, it's just a perfect fit. And I can't wait to be a part of it.
The prepared question was what stands out, like the time you spent with Kevin in Ann Arbor when he came there and had you on the whiteboard, like what stood out most about that time with him?
I would say the film room and the way he presents the install, the way he, compartmentalizes everything about, how to look at this play individually and how to, make it more relatable to what your knowledge is and how you can smoothly and efficiently step into this, playbook. And that was something that was truly unique because, you go around so many defensive coaches like Dan Quinn, Gerard Mayo, and being able to have that, relationship as former QB, current QB, it's truly special and it means a lot because coming from Michigan with Coach Harbaugh, having that experience before, there's a lot more understanding and a lot more empathy with the situations that you go through and the obstacles that you overcome. So just being able to sit in the film room with him, it was invaluable. And regardless if I went to Minnesota or not, that was something that I was going to take no matter where I went. And, just extremely grateful for the wisdom that he passed down to me in that short hour period that we were with together. And can't wait to, have more of those meetings for sure.
Yeah, JJ, hesitating to go down this rabbit hole too much, but what's your hockey story in brief, and what do how do you think that might play into living here?
So hockey was my first love. I started when I was 5, and that was my first sport. And I just loved everything about it, the toughness to it, the, work ethic to it. Everything about hockey is something that helped elevate my game in football because as a quarterback, there's very little opportunities to display toughness. And being around guys that have gotten their face split open with 110 stitches coming in following like 2 days after that, and then screaming at the coach for taking them out of the game while they're bleeding uncontrollably out of their face. Like it's little stuff like that where you get a sprained ankle in a game and you're just not going to sit there and be like, oh, I can't do this, because I've seen people overcome and want to overcome way worse obstacles. So being able to, draw back to those experiences has been invaluable, and, it's definitely going to pay dividends along the line here.